What if I told you that the way you think about love, attraction, and the female mind has been shaped by forces you don't even see, that the very desires you call your own are often whispers of something buried deeper, something unconscious? You felt it before, haven't you? That strange pull towards someone who seems to mirror an old wound you thought you left behind. The way certain women captivate you, not with logic, but with something primal, something irrational, something that bypasses your conscious mind entirely. And in those moments, you realize you are not in control. Freud left us a map for this territory, a map most people mock, dismiss, or fear. Yet buried within it is one of the most unsettling truths you'll ever confront. You don't really choose the women you desire. Your unconscious does. And if you ignore this, you will remain its prisoner. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, was not the polished philosopher you quote at dinner parties. He was messy, controversial, accused of being obsessed with sex. But Freud was not obsessed. He was honest. He looked where others refused to look, into the shadows of the human mind. He believed that our deepest motivations are not born from reason, but from conflict. Desire and fear, love and hate, attraction and disgust, constantly wrestling beneath the surface. And nowhere is this more visible than in the way we understand the female mind. For centuries, philosophers like Plato spoke of love as a ladder toward the divine, an ascent from physical beauty to ultimate truth. Machiavelli wrote about women as symbols of fortune, unpredictable, chaotic, needing to be conquered or tamed. Nietzsche, cynical and sharp, saw in woman both the eternal seducer and the eternal enigma, a mirror of man's will to power. But Freud? Freud pulled the curtain back. He said, "Stop pretending. Stop dressing love in poetry and politics. Look at what's really driving you." And what he revealed still disturbs us today. Think back to your earliest memories of love. Not romantic love, but the first love, the bond between a child and a parent. Freud argued that the way we experience this bond lays down the blueprint for every relationship that follows. If your mother was distant, you may be drawn to women who are emotionally unavailable, forever trying to win their affection. If your father was critical, you may find yourself unconsciously seeking partners who echo that same harshness. It is not chance, it is repetition. You are reenacting an old play, hoping this time the ending will change. Freud called this repetition compulsion. It feels like destiny, but it's just your unconscious recycling pain. And here's the terrifying part. It doesn't care about your happiness. It only cares about reliving what is familiar. Have you ever wondered why you stay in toxic relationships long after you know they're destroying you? Or why you sabotage love that feels too safe, too healthy? That is not rational choice. It is the pull of the unconscious, dragging you back into patterns you never resolved. But here's the paradox. Freud insisted the unconscious was not just about wounds. It was also about creativity, desire, life itself. He called it the libido, not just sexual energy, but a vital force of longing, of reaching, of wanting to connect. To ignore it is to live half asleep. To deny it is to let it control you in secret. And this is where the female mind becomes central. Not because Freud believed women were mysteries to solve, though he famously asked, "What does a woman want?" but because he saw how men projected their deepest fears and fantasies onto women. The female mind becomes a mirror, reflecting not who women truly are, but who you are when stripped of illusions. Consider this. Why do men often fear powerful women? Is it because women are dangerous, or because such women awaken the man's own buried insecurities? Nietzsche once said, "The true man wants two things, danger and play. For that reason, he wants woman as the most dangerous plaything." He was being provocative, but beneath his words lies a fear Freud would recognize. That woman represents not just beauty, but threat. She can expose your weakness, destabilize your fragile ego, remind you of the mother you depended on and the father you feared. This is why so many men oscillate between idealizing women as goddesses and degrading them as temptresses. Neither view is about women themselves. Both are about the man's unresolved conflicts. Here lies the uncomfortable truth. The female mind cannot be understood if you look at it only as other. To understand woman, Freud said, you must first understand the unconscious forces inside yourself, the ones that shape the way you see her. That means confronting your own shadow, asking questions you may not want to ask. Do I want her because she is truly right for me, or because she fits a script written in my childhood? Am I in love with her, or with my projection of what I wish she could heal in me? Am I attracted, or am I repeating? These are not comfortable questions, but they are liberating ones. Because once you see the script, you can choose to rewrite it. Plato dreamed of love as an ascent to truth. Freud forces us to ask, what if truth requires descending into the mess first? Into jealousy, obsession, unconscious desire? What if the only way to rise is to first admit where you are chained? Think of Orpheus, descending into the underworld to retrieve Eurydice. He could not escape the darkness without first entering it. In the same way, you cannot understand love or the female mind without daring to enter your own unconscious. But here's the twist most people miss. Freud did not leave us in despair. His map was not just about exposing wounds, it was about freedom. He believed that by bringing the unconscious into awareness, by speaking the unspeakable, by facing the shadow, you could break free of repetition. You could finally see a woman not as your mother, not as your fantasy, not as your wound, but as herself. And isn't that what true love is? Not projection, not obsession, but seeing another human being clearly, without the fog of your own past. So let me ask you, when you look at the women in your life, are you truly seeing them? Or are you staring into a mirror of your own unconscious? The answer is not easy, but it is the beginning of freedom. Freud left us a map, yes, but not to control women, not to decode the female mind like a puzzle. He left us a map to navigate our own darkness, so that when we meet another, we can finally meet them as they are. And perhaps that is the lesson we've ignored for too long. That love is not about possession, nor power, nor projection. It is about the courage to face ourselves first. Because in the end, the female mind is not a territory to conquer. It is a mirror that demands, who are you really? And if you dare to answer, you may discover that the true mystery was never her. It was you.